My dear friends, welcome. Gather around, gather around. As the flames of the fire crackle, I'm about to tell you a story that's come straight from the depths of the ages. A story so legendary that its heroes, enemies, victories, and defeats are all legendary. Today, I'm going to tell you about a man who grew up in the cold winds of the steppes and conquered the world. This man rode across mountains and rivers, vowed to conquer everything under the sky, and is one of history's greatest conquerors. Yes, today I'm telling you the story of Genghis Khan. But this isn't just any ordinary story, no. This is the tale of how the brave child of the steppes transformed into a storm that shook the world. A storm so powerful that it didn't just affect his enemies but also deeply impacted his own people. A hurricane that trembled across the entire continent of Asia, and even the hearts of Europe. His name was Temujin, and no one knew him as Genghis Khan yet. When he lost his father as a young child, he lived on the edge of life and death with his family in a world besieged by enemies. He was the leader of a small nomadic tribe, but his destiny was written for much greater things than just being a simple shepherd. No one knew it yet, but this little boy was destined to conquer half the world and etch his name into the annals of history. My friends, hold on tight, because this story will take you from the vast and harsh lands of the steppes to the great walls of China, the holy cities of the Islamic world, and even the gates of Europe. We'll witness Genghis Khan's journey, the forces that led him to victory, the challenges he faced, and the legacy he left behind. Let's begin. Close your eyes and imagine as the dry winds of the steppes brush against your face. The ground trembles under the hooves of the horses. On the horizon, a man stands tall under a flag waving fiercely in the wind. This man is Genghis Khan, whose name will be inscribed in the golden letters of history. Now listen to his story, because his life is not just the story of one man, it's a tale woven into the fabric of history, humanity, and fate. My dear friends, it's time to dive a little deeper. Let's talk about the life of Genghis Khan and the impact of the Mongol Empire on world history. Now close your eyes and let's embark on a journey through the dusty pages of history. The name of Genghis Khan echoes through the depths of history like ancient secrets whispered by the wind, and today we're going to unravel the mysteries of this vast empire. Genghis Khan's name became a symbol not just of a ruler, but of an entire era. This is the story of how one person can create a change that shakes the world. Genghis Khan is known as one of the most influential and powerful rulers in history. But why did he have such a huge impact? To answer this question, we need to take a broad look at the expansion of the Mongol Empire. Imagine, my dear friends, that I'm telling you about a revolution that started in the endless steppes of Central Asia and spread across Asia and finally reached the gates of Europe. As Genghis Khan carved his name into history, he didn't just change the fate of one region, but the entire continent. Cities thought to be invincible were destroyed through conquests, and empires were crushed under his rule. The expansion of the Mongol Empire is truly a masterpiece of war and strategy. Genghis Khan's influence wasn't limited to military victories alone. His approach to governance, cultural interactions, and the reshaping of trade routes were all etched into history with golden letters. Now let's take a closer look at how this child of the steppes managed to conquer all of Central Asia and beyond. The empire's expansion required both clever strategies and an unstoppable warrior spirit. Genghis Khan was a master of strategy. He exploited his enemies' weaknesses and made the most of the advantages of a nomadic lifestyle. The Mongols were expert warriors at infiltrating the weaknesses of their foes. With their superior combat skills, they were not only successful in expanding their empire's borders, but also in growing their influence. But of course, this expansion wasn't just about warfare and conquests. The expanding Mongol territories became a melting pot of various cultures and peoples. This created an era of cultural exchange. As the boundaries of the Mongol Empire grew, new trade routes emerged. These routes acted as a bridge between East and West, facilitating interactions between different civilizations. Genghis Khan proved himself to be a genius not only on the battlefield but also in diplomacy and governance. The expansion of the Mongol Empire led to significant changes across Asia and Europe. By promoting trade and cultural exchange, this expansion had major impacts in both Asia and Europe. In short, Genghis Khan and his Mongol Empire mark a turning point in world history. The Mongol conquests altered the course of history, redrew boundaries, and created a new world order. Now we'll continue to explore the details, strategies, and impacts of this vast empire. Get ready, because this journey will bring us both great victories and unforgettable lessons. My dear friends, we are about to step into another tale from the dusty pages of history. Now close your eyes, and let's embark on a journey to the vast depths of Central Asia, to the wind-swept lands of an ancient time. Here begins the story of a child's birth and the rise of a great ruler. This is the story of Temujin. The year is 1162. In the boundless steppes of Central Asia, somewhere between the sky and the earth, a birth takes place on a dark night. On this night, a child was born who would change many things on earth. This child, named Temujin, was sowing the first seeds of a future full of meaning. Legends about Temujin's birth say that the sky and stars signaled that this child was destined for something special. According to the legends, when Temujin was born, the dark sky suddenly brightened and the stars shone with an unprecedented brilliance. This extraordinary event was interpreted as a sign that he would become a great leader in the future. However, this brilliant birth marked the beginning of a life filled not with victories, but with great hardships. During his childhood, Temujin grew up under harsh conditions as a member of a nomadic Mongol tribe. His father, Yesugji, was a charismatic leader, but when Temujin was still young, their lives changed dramatically with his father's death at the hands of enemies. Little Temujin, after this traumatic event, began a difficult struggle for survival with his family. His father's death left Temujin alone and vulnerable. At a young age, he entered into a fierce battle to ensure his family's safety and survival. Young Temujin learned to fight and lead under tough circumstances from an early age. During this time, there were frequent wars and conflicts among Mongol tribes. Temujin began to distinguish himself as a brave and determined young man in this environment. His intelligence and strategic thinking set him apart from others. Even at a young age, he showed traits of a leader. One of the greatest challenges Temujin faced in his youth was the turmoil within his own tribe. The difficulties faced by him and his family shaped his character. Loneliness and struggle were the first steps toward becoming a powerful leader for Temujin. The pain he experienced at a young age taught him not only the importance of fighting, but also the importance of strategy and uniting people. During these years, Temujin was busy protecting his family while also working on developing his leadership qualities. The relationships and alliances he built among tribes laid the foundation for his future great successes. Throughout this process, Temujin developed his skills not just as a warrior but also as a diplomat and strategist. My dear friends, Temujin's childhood and youth were a challenging yet instructive process on his path to becoming a great ruler. These years shaped his character and made him a strong and effective leader. Now, let's take a closer look at how this young Temujin grew and took steps toward establishing an empire. Get ready, as we will witness the first signs of a major transformation on the historical stage. My friends, we're about to dive into the depths of a historical tale. Open your ears and close your eyes, because now in the dark and windy steppes of Central Asia, we're stepping into the story of one of history's greatest figures, Temujin. This is the tale of a child, a leader, and an emperor coming into being. So, Let's begin. On a cold winter night in 1162, amidst the shining stars, stardust, and winds, in the steppes of Central Asia, a child was born into a nomadic Mongol tribe. His name was Temujin. When he was born, the sky and the world seemed to signal a great future for him. But sadly, this bright beginning was just the first step of a journey filled with difficulties that would cast a dark shadow over his life. Temujin's father, Yasuji, the respected and brave leader of the tribe, was ambushed and killed by enemies one day. This not only changed Temujin's life but also uprooted the entire family's existence. After Yasuji's death, Temujin's family was left in loneliness and insecurity. The tribe's order was disrupted, and the family entered a desperate struggle for survival. Young Temujin had to cope with the trauma of his father's death and the disintegration of the tribe while still a child. The collapse of their tribe had a severe impact on Temujin and his family. Their nomadic lifestyle was no longer secure. Young Temujin found himself suddenly burdened with supporting his family as a young man. Things began to get even worse. Their tribe was left defenseless, and Temujin's mother was thrust into a harsh struggle to provide for her children. During this time, Temujin fought to survive with the help of old tribal allies. However, the greatest challenge Temujin faced at a young age became a turning point that would shape his strength and character. After his father's death, Temujin was taken as a slave by enemies. This brutal slavery was one of the hardest periods of Temujin's life. Being a slave subjected him to hard labor and the pain of losing human dignity. But this tough period ignited the warrior spirit and longing for freedom within him. His escape from slavery was a testament to Temujin's courage and determination. One day he managed to escape from a place of captivity where he had spent nights in darkness, devising a clever plan. After his escape, his struggle for survival became even more challenging. Temujin decided to fight for his freedom and return to his old life. The process of breaking free from slavery solidified his warrior spirit and leadership qualities. This escape laid the foundation for his future great successes. Temujin's childhood, youth, and escape from slavery were crucial periods that shaped his character and future leadership. These challenging years revealed his inner strength and determination. Every difficulty made him stronger on his path to becoming a great leader. And now we'll continue to explore how Temujin navigated these tough times and became a leader and emperor. Get ready, because we'll be looking more closely at the journey of this young boy becoming one of Central Asia's most powerful emperors. Prepare to step into another time and place, because history is being written here. Ah, dear friends, we are about to uncover another epic tale from the depths of history. Once upon a time, in the vast steppes of Central Asia, a young man faced the harsh whims of fate. This story is about Temujin's first great love and his test of heroism at a young age. Let's step into the pages of this epic tale together. After a challenging childhood, Temujin was slowly advancing towards establishing his own strength and leadership. However, one of the difficult periods life presented him included a significant test of love and courage. At a young age, Temujin had fallen in love with a girl named Borte. Borte was a young woman whose beauty and grace captured everyone's attention and left a deep mark on Temujin's heart. Temujin's marriage to Borte was set to grant him significant power both personally and politically. Their marriage was an important step for Temujin to solidify the tribe's support and strengthen his own power. However, just as their happiness and security were beginning to settle, a tribal conflict was about to upheave their lives. One day, not long after Temujin and Borte's marriage, Borte was captured by an enemy tribe. This tribe was led by a group with old enmities against Temujin's family. Borte's abduction deeply shook Temujin's spirit, bringing him immense sorrow and anger. He now faced the risk of losing not just his wife, but also his reputation and future. Temujin sprang into action immediately after Bort's capture. Dealing with this major crisis would put his determination and strategic mind to the test. As Temujin embarked on the mission to rescue Borte, this task became not only a matter of personal revenge, but also a test of his leadership and power. In preparing the rescue plan, Temujin's mind was filled not only with strategy but also with courage and resolve. He carefully analyzed the enemy tribe's camp, its location, and security measures. With information gathered from various sources and allies, he identified the enemy's weak points. Temujin was not alone in this brave venture. He had loyal friends and allies supporting him. Under the cover of night, Temujin and his elite warriors silently infiltrated the enemy camp. They faced weak security systems and sleeping guards. Temujin and his men found Borte in a narrow space inside an old tent. The enemy tribe had kept her almost like a prisoner, but Temujin's strategy and bravery would change this situation. Temujin successfully freed Bort. While moving her to safety, he launched a battle against the remaining enemy tribe. This battle with his enemies further solidified Temujin's courage and leadership skills. The rescue of Bort became a symbol not only of Temujin's personal victory, but also of the strength of his tribe and allies. The abduction and rescue of Borte were crucial turning points in Temujin's life. This event marked not only his personal tragedy and heroism, but also an important moment in the history of Central Asia. With Bort's rescue, Temujin laid the solid foundations for both his love and leadership. This epic event signified the beginning of his struggle towards empire. And so, dear friends, the story of Temujin's rescue of Bort shines like a star in the pages of history. Now, following this heroic tale, we will continue our journey to explore how Temujin solidified his power and took other great steps on his path to empire. Get ready, because history is offering us a grand adventure. In the harsh winter days of 1187, a period of struggle unfolded under the snow-covered steppes of Central Asia. Having endured great suffering and challenges at a young age, Temujin needed to develop a new strategy to lighten the burden that war and power had placed upon him. At the heart of this strategy was the formation of a group of warriors bound to him by unwavering loyalty. These loyal warriors would ensure his survival, strengthen his power, and ultimately help him build a great empire. The first warriors around Temujin were those who saw his leadership qualities and personal courage, supported him, and believed in his vision. These warriors were the ones who stood by Temujin in his toughest times, shared in his struggles, and supported him both in war and peace. Their loyalty and bravery would become critical elements in Temujin's rise. As Temujin assembled a group of loyal warriors, he placed great importance not only on strength and skill but also on character and loyalty. For him, it was crucial that his warriors were not just capable but also reliable and dedicated. These warriors would be by his side even in his darkest hours and would fight for him. The creation of this warrior group was a reflection of Temujin's strategic acumen and leadership abilities. Temujin did not just give orders to these warriors, he also got to know them personally to earn their trust and loyalty. This group formed a brotherhood forged in the battles they fought together, the hardships they shared, and the victories they celebrated. The selection of Temujin's loyal warriors would further strengthen his strategy and provide him with a broad support network. Their commitment to his leadership would help him overcome the challenges he would face on his path to empire. Their combat skills and strategic knowledge would aid Temujin in gaining the upper hand against his enemies. In the cold winds of the Mongol steppes in 1189, a period shaken by tribal conflicts unfolded. Temujin, despite his young age, had the potential to become a great leader, but he needed to carve out a place for himself in the complex and sometimes brutal world of Mongol tribes to turn that potential into reality. Conflicts between tribes were almost a part of daily life on the Mongol steppes. Each tribe was constantly engaged in a struggle to maintain its own power balance and gain dominance over others. After the death of Temujin's father Yesuji, Temujin and his family faced significant danger. Yesuji's death left Temujin's family isolated and made them targets of their enemies. But young Temujin had to confront the challenges brought by these dark times with the fire within him. Temujin began to use his intelligence, strategic skills, and leadership abilities to stand out in these tough struggles. He improved his combat skills, devised strategies, and began to demonstrate remarkable leadership amid the chaos between tribes. During this period, Temujin's determination, courage, and military genius led to him being respected and feared among the tribes. Temujin showed himself not only as a warrior but also as a diplomatic genius. In negotiations with other tribal leaders, he made attractive offers and gained allies through strategic marriages. These diplomatic maneuvers helped Temujin gain power and shift the balance of power among the tribes in his favor. During these struggles among the Mongol tribes, Temujin's leadership became increasingly prominent. His sacrifices for his tribe and successful military operations earned him a strong support base and a loyal group of warriors. These warriors shared Temujin's vision, proving their dedication by fighting for him and supporting his leadership. Temujin's leadership proved effective not only on the battlefield, but also in establishing a peaceful order among the tribes. He successfully reduced conflicts between tribes and promoted coexistence. This was an important step toward achieving his vision of creating an empire by uniting the Mongol tribes. Temujin's rise to leadership was made possible by his determination, intelligence, and strategic skills in these challenging struggles. The experiences and allies he gained during this time made him one of the leading figures among the Mongol tribes. These complex and harsh tribal conflicts were crucial steps in his journey to establish a great empire. And so, dear friends, we have listened to the epic tale of how Temujin's leadership rose and how he stood out in the struggles among the Mongol tribes. Now we will move forward to his further efforts on the path to establishing an empire and the great victories he achieved in this process. Get ready, as Temujin's grand journey on the historical stage continues. Dear friends, now we embark on a fascinating journey to a major historical turning point, the establishment of the Mongol Empire and Temujin's declaration as Genghis Khan. These events are etched in history as moments that shaped both the Mongol steppes and the course of world history. Let's gather around the fire and recount this epic tale as a story full of details and enthusiasm. In the year 1206, a silence reigned over the Mongol steppes, but this silence heralded one of the most significant moments in history. Temujin had achieved a great success, uniting the Mongol tribes and forming a powerful alliance under his leadership. However, to crown this success, a decisive step needed to be taken to shape the future of the Mongol tribes. This crucial step came with Temujin organizing the meeting known as the Great Kurultai. All the leaders of the Mongol tribes gathered for this grand event. It was a pivotal moment in Mongol history, as this Kurultai would witness the birth of an empire. On the vast horizons of the steppes, the assembled tribes decided to unite under Temujin's leadership and establish a new order. The Kurultai was organized as a grand feast and an important diplomatic meeting. The aim of this gathering was to end all conflicts between the Mongol tribes and ensure their unification around Temujin. Dressed in traditional Mongol hats and thick woolen garments, each leader was there as a representative of their tribe. As night fell, the tribal leaders gathered around Temujin by the light of the fires. This moment was one where the fate of a people was about to be shaped. Seeing the unity and loyalty forming around Temujin marked the foundation of his future empire. The speeches made at the Kurultai resulted in Temujin being recognized and supported by the leaders and warriors he respected. When Temujin was granted the authority to assume this great responsibility, he would not only unify the tribes but also lay the foundations of an empire that would alter the fate of all Asia. And then the great moment arrived. Temujin was declared Genghis Khan. This name was not just a title but also a symbol of the beginning of an empire and an era. The name Genghis Khan meant great leader and signaled the beginning of Temujin's grand journey. This new title granted him authority not only over the Mongol tribes but also over lands beyond these vast steppes. With his declaration as Genghis Khan, Temujin positioned himself not only as a leader but also as a lawgiver, strategist, and visionary. The establishment of the Mongol Empire was not merely a change of name, but the beginning of extensive reforms and restructuring. Temujin's vision of creating a great empire enabled him to harness the full strength of the Mongol tribes and unite them under a single banner. And so, dear friends, we have witnessed this great event on the stage of history. Temujin's declaration as Genghis Khan at the Great Kurultai and the founding of the Mongol Empire are moments that shaped the future of both a people and all of Asia. This monumental step heralded the birth of an empire that would change the course of world history, starting from the Mongol steppes. Now we will continue to explore how Genghis Khan expanded his empire and the impact of this expansion. Get ready, for history is still being written. In the year 1206, after a grand Kurultai on the vast lands of the Mongol steppes, Temujin was declared Genghis Khan. However, this grand title was not merely a name, it also symbolized the foundation of an empire and the emergence of a new power on the stage of history. Genghis Khan made significant strides not only as a leader but also as a lawgiver and statesman. As he established his empire, he embarked on a comprehensive reform process to organize both society and the military structure. One of Genghis Khan's first major steps was the adoption of the Yasa. The Mongols, throughout history, had lived a nomadic lifestyle and coexisted with various tribes. This situation led to internal conflicts and disruptions. To address this issue, Genghis Khan created a legal framework. This law, known in Mongolian as Yasa, was a legal system that would be applicable throughout the empire's territories. The Yasa aimed to establish order in Mongol society by defining both legal rules and social norms. These laws covered issues such as administering justice, punishing crimes, collecting taxes, and military service. One of the most important features of the Yasa was that every individual was to be judged equally. Temujin introduced this legal arrangement to ensure justice and maintain societal cohesion. He also established an administrative cadre to ensure the meticulous implementation of the law. This cadre was responsible for overseeing and maintaining order in both military and civil affairs. Another significant contribution of Genghis Khan in the establishment of the Mongol Empire was the development of military organization. Temujin restructured the steppe warriors, not just as tribal fighters but as a disciplined and organized army. This military organization became one of the cornerstones of the Mongol Empire's success. The organization of the Mongol army was different from other contemporary military forces. Genghis Khan meticulously arranged each unit and military division. The army's basic structure was based on a model known as the decimal system. In this model, every 10 warriors were led by a 10-man commander. These commanders were overseen by captains, and the captains were supervised by colonels. Thus, each level fulfilled its responsibilities while working in coordination with higher levels. This arrangement enhanced the effectiveness of the Mongol army and allowed for swift and effective movements on the battlefield. Additionally, this system fostered strong loyalty and discipline among the warriors. The success of the Mongol army was a result of not only strategic brilliance but also this organized structure. In addition to military organization, Genghis Khan also improved the army's logistics and support services. Notably, he carried out major reforms in communication and supply procurement. These reforms ensured that the army was prepared under all conditions and that wars were conducted successfully. Dear friends, the steps Genghis Khan took in establishing the Mongol Empire laid the foundations not only for an empire but also for an era. The adoption of the Yasa and the development of military organizations solidified Mongol dominance over vast territories and changed the course of history. Genghis Khan's vision transformed the Mongol Empire into not just a military power but also a state with governance and law. After this grand transformation, let's explore together how Genghis Khan's empire expanded and impacted the world in the next section. Dear listeners, as we embark on a new journey into the depths of history, I invite you to explore the epic tale of military strategy and diplomatic brilliance. Today, we will focus on Genghis Khan's early campaigns and his significant military actions against the Western Xia. This period was marked not only by battles and conquests, but also by strategic acumen and diplomatic achievements. If you're ready, let's delve into this legendary story together. After laying the foundations of the Mongol Empire, Genghis Khan quickly began to implement his conquest strategies. One of his initial targets was the Western Xia kingdom. Located in present-day China, in the northeastern part of Central Asia, Western Xia represented a strategically important region for the Mongols. Known for its rich lands, strong fortresses, and abundant resources, Western Xia was a prize that Genghis Khan envisioned under Mongol control. Genghis Khan's initial campaigns against Western Xia were a series of operations that combined military strategy with diplomatic skill. The strategic goals of these campaigns were clear: to access Western Xia's rich resources, neutralize rivals in the region, and secure the western borders of the Mongol Empire. Temujin achieved great success in these campaigns by leveraging both his military power and diplomatic maneuvering. One of the early campaigns targeted the capital of Western Xia, Zhongdu. Genghis Khan organized a massive military operation to breach the region's fortresses and walls. The Mongols effectively used their cavalry and archers to weaken Western Xia's defenses. The fortresses of Western Xia struggled to withstand the disciplined and rapid assaults of the Mongol army. By identifying and concentrating on the enemy's weak points, the Mongols achieved victory. Following these initial campaigns, the defensive strength of the Western Xia kingdom was significantly weakened. Genghis Khan's war strategies showcased the superiority of the Mongol army and led to the rapid conquest of the region. However, Genghis Khan managed this process not only with military force, but also with his diplomatic skills. The surrender of Western Xia marked the Mongol Empire's first major diplomatic success. After the conquest of Western Xia, Genghis Khan established relationships with the region's leaders and people. During this period, his diplomatic strategies played a crucial role. Following the surrender, the Mongol Empire set up a new administration in Western Xia and made agreements with local rulers to ensure peace. These diplomatic maneuvers allowed the Mongols to establish a strong governance and control mechanism in the newly conquered territories. Genghis Khan's campaigns against Western Xia highlighted not only military victories but also the strategic and diplomatic capabilities of the Mongol Empire. These successes were a significant turning point in the expansion process of the Mongol Empire and demonstrated how Genghis Khan's leadership increased the empire's influence on the world stage. Dear listeners, after this great victory, let's explore in the next section how Genghis Khan's empire expanded further, strengthened its relations with other regions, and what the subsequent steps of the Mongol Empire were. It has been a pleasure to be with you in this exciting chapter of history. Hey everyone, today we're diving deep into history to witness the expansion of a massive empire. This time, we're focusing on the dazzling military strategies and meticulous diplomatic maneuvers of Genghis Khan. His campaigns against the Jin Dynasty and the conquest of northern China are prime examples of the Mongol Empire's military genius and strategic brilliance. Ready to step into this significant period in history? Let's go. After conquering Western Xia, Genghis Khan turned his attention to the Jin Dynasty in northern China. The Jin Dynasty controlled a large part of Central Asia and was known for its strong military power. This region was recognized for its vast lands, strategic cities, and rich resources. Genghis Khan aimed to expand the Mongol Empire's borders and increase its strategic advantages. The Jin Dynasty in northern China would put Genghis Khan's military strategies to the test. The Jin Dynasty was well fortified with its strongholds and walls. But Genghis Khan's military skills and strategic acumen were designed to overcome these formidable defenses. The campaigns began as a series of extensive military operations. Genghis Khan first launched raids on the border regions of the Jin Dynasty. The Mongol army quickly penetrated enemy territory using speed and surprise. Mongol cavalry targeted strategically important cities, weakening the Jin Dynasty's defenses. The siege and capture of these cities significantly disrupted the Jin Dynasty's military capabilities. One of the most notable features of these campaigns against the Jin Dynasty was the innovative tactics used by the Mongol army. Genghis Khan demonstrated great skill in siege warfare by developing various strategies to breach fortifications and walls. These strategies included applying intense pressure on enemy walls, targeting weak points, and using siege machines. These methods weakened the Jin Dynasty's defenses and ensured the Mongol army's successful advance. The conquest of northern China was marked not just by military success but also by diplomatic achievements. Genghis Khan negotiated with the local rulers of the Jin Dynasty to secure their surrender. These diplomatic efforts allowed the region to quickly fall under Mongol control. Genghis Khan established new administrative arrangements in the conquered territories and strengthened relations with the local populace. The campaigns against the Jin Dynasty and the conquest of northern China clearly showcased the Mongol Empire's military strength and strategic vision. These conquests reflected Genghis Khan's military skills and diplomatic prowess, solidifying the Mongol Empire's regional dominance and leaving a lasting impact on Chinese lands. Hey friends, gather around the fire as an old sage, and let me tell you about one of the Mongol Empire's greatest military victories, the siege of Beijing, also known as Zhongdu, and how this siege aligned with Chinese military tactics. This story shows how the Mongols' military strategies and tactics harmonized with the military practices of the time. The siege of Zhongdu went down in history as a testament to the Mongol army's military genius. Zhongdu was one of the most powerful cities of the time and served as the capital of the Jin Dynasty, giving it strategic importance. With its thick, high walls, strong defensive systems, and rich resources, Zhongdu was high on the Mongols' target list. But this conquest was more than just a military operation, it was also a result of strategy and tactical warfare. Genghis Khan approached this siege with a scientific mindset. The Mongol army planned not just for physical battle but also considered the psychological and strategic aspects of the fight. The process of besieging Zhongdu showcased the Mongols' top-notch military and engineering skills. The siege involved a series of challenging stages, each reflecting the Mongols' foresight and strategic brilliance. Firstly, the Mongols developed an effective siege strategy around the city. They built massive siege towers, catapults, and other military machines to breach Zhongdu's walls. These engineering marvels were designed to overcome the city's defenses and get inside. Such tactics proved highly effective against the Chinese defenders and gave the Mongols a significant advantage in carrying out a successful siege. During the siege, the Mongols also took advantage of Chinese military tactics. They carefully applied methods used by the Chinese to weaken city walls over time. The Mongols altered the water routes around the city, used various techniques to weaken the walls, and even cut off the city's food supplies to demoralize the defenders. At the time, Chinese military strategies and tactics were crucial in siege warfare. While the Chinese defenders had built strong walls around their city, the Mongols found a way to overcome them. They targeted weak points in the walls and used large stones and catapults to weaken them. They also aimed at the city's food supplies to break the defenders' resolve. Internal conflicts and turmoil within the city made the Mongols' job easier. Political chaos and factionalism within the Jin Dynasty provided the Mongols with a significant advantage during the siege. This internal strife helped the Mongols successfully complete their siege. The capture of Beijing demonstrated the effectiveness of Mongol military tactics and strategies. The Mongols relied not only on military force but also on clever and strategic thinking to conquer cities and expand their dominance. This victory stands as a testament to Genghis Khan's military prowess and strategic brilliance in history. After this victory, the Mongols solidified their control over Chinese territories, and the process of expanding their empire continued. The siege of Beijing is a perfect example of how Mongol military strategies and Chinese military tactics combined, and this historical event remains a symbol of Mongol military success. Dear friends, gather around as if we're around a fire, with the night surrounding us, and let me take you through one of history's most turbulent events, the attempt by Khwarezm Shah Muhammad to stand against Genghis Khan, and the impact this conflict had on diplomatic relations. Imagine we're flipping through the pages of history, diving into a grand drama. Khwarezm Shah Muhammad was a powerful ruler in the heart of Central Asia. The Khwarezmian Empire was wealthy and strong, with its capital located in the city of Urgench, in present-day Turkmenistan. These lands were home to one of history's greatest civilizations. However, this great empire reached a critical turning point in its relations with Genghis Khan's Mongol Empire. As Genghis Khan sought to expand his empire, he needed to establish diplomatic and trade relations with neighboring lands. He aimed to build such a relationship with Khwarezm Shah Muhammad. One of the Mongol Empire's first steps was to foster these relations and ensure that the two great powers could share their territories peacefully. However, this diplomatic effort took an unexpectedly complicated turn. Initially, the diplomatic talks with Khwarezm Shah Muhammad started off positively. Genghis Khan sent an envoy to Muhammad, carrying a message that the Mongols were friendly and interested in establishing trade relations. However, Muhammad's reaction was the opposite of what the Mongols had hoped for. The envoy was received at Muhammad's court, but was insulted with drinks and entertainment and eventually killed. This incident enraged Genghis Khan and abruptly shattered diplomatic relations with Khwarezm Shah Muhammad. The Mongols perceived this behavior as an insult. Genghis Khan saw the murder of his envoy and Muhammad's attitude as a direct threat to his sovereignty and empire. The decision to defend Mongol honor and retaliate marked the beginning of a major military campaign. Genghis Khan turned the situation into a military challenge. He decided to launch a large-scale military expedition into Khwarezm Shah Muhammad's territory. The Mongol armies began advancing into Khwarezmian lands, opening the door to a massive conflict between empires. The Mongols launched a major campaign to conquer Khwarezmian lands and expand their empire's borders. This military campaign was not just a military operation but also demonstrated how diplomatic relations could deteriorate and threaten a nation's sovereignty. Genghis Khan's campaign against Khwarezm Shah Muhammad showed the effectiveness of Mongol military power and strategic intelligence. The conquest of Khwarezmian lands became a historical example of the combination of Mongol military strategies and diplomatic maneuvers. This conflict had a significant impact not only on the relationship between the two great empires but also on regional balances. Khwarizm Shah Muhammad's defiance against Genghis Khan fundamentally changed the political and military map of Central Asia. The Mongol invasion brought an end to the Khwarezmian Empire and dramatically shifted the regional power balance. Dear friends, as we delve once again into the depths of history, let me share with you the story of the Mongol army's advance into Central Asia, the tragedy of the Otrar massacre, and the conquest of Bukhara. These events not only redrew the map but also fundamentally shifted the balance of power. Are you ready? Let's dive into the depths of time and uncover the truths behind these fascinating historical events together. The Mongol Empire's advance into Central Asia was one of the greatest demonstrations of Genghis Khan's strategic genius and military might. However, this advance began with a tragic event known as the Otrar massacre. Otrar was a crucial trading city at the time, and the Mongols' attempt to establish dominance in Central Asia faced its first major test here. As the Mongol armies advanced towards the lands of Khwarizm Shah Muhammad, an incident in Otrar showed how bloody and difficult this advance would become. One of the Mongol envoys arrived in this trade city with a message questioning Khwarizm Shah's conduct. However, the officials in Otrar ignored the envoy's instructions and proposals, imprisoning him and the other envoys. This was an unacceptable insult to the Mongols, and retaliation was deemed necessary. Genghis Khan took this insult as a cause for war and launched a massive military campaign. The Mongol forces besieged the city and conducted a brutal attack. This siege led to bloody conflicts and widespread devastation. Otrar put up a fierce resistance against the Mongol assaults, but it was ultimately in vain. The city was conquered, and its inhabitants faced a severe massacre. This event became an example of how harsh and ruthless Mongol justice and military power could be. After the Otrar massacre, the Mongol armies turned their attention to other major cities in Central Asia. Cities like Bukhara and Samarkand were now in the Mongol crosshairs. These cities were significant regional centers, and Genghis Khan's military campaign continued with their conquest. The Mongols besieged and captured Bukhara, causing extensive damage to the city. Bukhara once again demonstrated the Mongols' military strength and strategic prowess. However, the Mongol advance was not limited to Bukhara. The campaign towards Samarkand was one of the most striking examples of Mongol military success and strategic skill. Samarkand, known for its wealth and cultural heritage, was a major target for the Mongols. The Mongols besieged and captured Samarkand, marking the beginning of the end for the Khwarezmian Empire. With the fall of Samarkand, the Khwarezmian Empire experienced a severe upheaval. The Mongols rapidly took over Khwarezmian lands, putting the existence of the Khwarezmian Empire under significant threat. The collapse of the Khwarezmian Empire fundamentally changed the political landscape of Central Asia. The Mongols nearly completely dominated the region, dramatically altering the balance of power. Dear friends, after these major military campaigns and conquests, the Mongols' advance into Central Asia and the collapse of the Khwarezmian Empire are recorded as some of the most significant events in history. Genghis Khan's military strategies demonstrated how they transformed the power dynamics in the region, and how the Mongol Empire became a formidable force. During this pivotal moment in history, the Mongol impact was felt not only through warfare but also through regional governance and cultural change. Dear friends, we're about to embark on another great adventure through the depths of history. Today we'll trace the path of Genghis Khan's campaigns that extended far beyond his original borders, into the Caucasus and Eastern Europe. These major military campaigns, stretching from the foothills of the Caucasus to the lands of the Kievan Rus, demonstrate the immense power of the Mongol Empire. Are you ready? Let's begin this unforgettable journey. Genghis Khan's military strategies weren't confined to the vast steppes of Asia. His vision reached into the heart of Europe and the high peaks of the Caucasus. The expansive empire he built between East and West is undoubtedly one of the greatest success stories in history. Genghis Khan's efforts to expand were shaped not only by military victories but also by strategic moves in the region. The Caucasus was both an obstacle and an opportunity for the Mongols. This mountainous region was known for its challenging geography and independent Caucasian peoples. However, Genghis Khan's strategic brilliance allowed him to conquer this tough terrain. The Mongols, in their campaigns against the Caucasian peoples, first overcame the difficulties of the mountains and valleys, and then broke the resistance in the region. These military operations in the Caucasus showcased the effectiveness and organization of the Mongol army. After conquering the Caucasus, Genghis Khan turned his attention westward to Eastern Europe. This expansion was seen as a major strategic move, especially in relation to the Kievan Rus. The Kievan Rus were one of the powerful and established states of the time. The Mongol campaigns against this region were a significant military threat to the Kievan Rus borders. One of the most notable campaigns was the large-scale attack on the Kievan Rus. The Mongol armies launched a powerful assault on Kiev, the capital of the Kievan Rus. Kiev was a major trade center and a cultural meeting point at the time, making it a strategically important target for the Mongols. In this campaign, the Mongols advanced rapidly, gaining a significant advantage. The city was besieged, and after prolonged battles, Kiev fell into Mongol hands. This victory reinforced the Mongols' advance westward and their influence in the region. The victories in the Caucasus and over the Kievan Rus were crucial milestones in the expansion of the Mongol Empire. These victories were not just military successes but also provided strategic superiority. The Mongols established their dominance over a vast region through these conquests, creating a massive empire that extended from Central Asia into Europe. Dear friends, Genghis Khan's campaigns into the Caucasus and Eastern Europe are among the greatest examples of his military genius and strategic acumen. These campaigns solidified the Mongols' place in history and laid the foundation for a great empire. Dear friends, are you ready to witness the life of a great military leader who left a mark on history, the details of his final campaign, and the last days of a vast empire? Today we'll dive deep into Genghis Khan's final campaign against the Western Xia and the drama he experienced during this time. Listen carefully, as this chapter will reveal both the military strategies of a great emperor and his personal struggles. For years, Genghis Khan's military genius and strategic brilliance had turned the Mongol Empire into a colossal force. However, like every great leader, Genghis Khan faced challenges that left unforgettable marks on history. Now, let's closely examine this final major campaign against the Western Xia and the tragedy Genghis Khan faced during it. The Western Xia had always been a target for the Mongols. Located in the northwest regions of modern-day China, this area had been a prize for various empires throughout history. When Genghis Khan set out to conquer the Western Xia, he knew he was facing a significant challenge both militarily and strategically. The campaign began with a period of extensive preparation for the Mongols. Genghis Khan devised a comprehensive military plan to besiege Yinchuan, the capital of Western Xia. Despite the tough terrain of the region, the Mongol armies advanced with determination. The resistance from Western Xia proved to be a significant test for the Mongol forces. Intense battles ensued. The Mongol armies struggled to breach the defenses of Western Xia. The fortifications and walls of Western Xia tested the Mongols' combat skills. Winning this war was not only a military victory for Genghis Khan, but also a means to solidify the power and influence of his empire. However, the hardships of the war and the intense clashes at the front took a heavy toll on Genghis Khan's body. During this campaign, Genghis Khan suffered a series of serious injuries. Historians note that these wounds rapidly deteriorated his health and led to his death. The great emperor's body could no longer endure the pains of battles and wars. One day, as the tough struggle against Western Xia continued, Genghis Khan's skills and leadership on the battlefield began to wane. Seeing their brave leader fighting with fatal wounds, the Mongol soldiers were deeply saddened by this process. Eventually, Genghis Khan's health severely deteriorated, and he passed away due to the injuries he sustained on the battlefield. The death of the great emperor was a significant loss for the Mongol Empire. After Genghis Khan's death, the Mongol army conquered Western Xia and incorporated the region into the empire. However, in the wake of the great leader's death, a void emerged within the empire. Genghis Khan's passing highlighted the importance of his strategic decisions and campaigns, showing once again how crucial they were for the empire's control and stability. Dear friends, we've reached the end of an incredible historical journey. Together, we've witnessed the key moments of Genghis Khan's life, explored his strategic genius, personal struggles, and the rise of his vast empire. As we conclude this history-filled journey, let's reflect on Genghis Khan's legacy and his impact on world history. Genghis Khan embarked on a journey followed by many great leaders throughout history. Years of struggles, victories, strategic decisions, and battles not only made him a military leader, but also a significant historical figure. This great emperor, who laid the foundations of the Mongol Empire and ruled over vast territories, also left a lasting impact on many cultures and civilizations. He was not just a warrior, but also a strategist. His campaigns against the Western Xia, his conquests in northern China, and his campaigns in Central Asia offered us valuable lessons in military strategy and organization. Each victory reflected not only his military might but also his diplomatic skills and vision. Genghis Khan's leadership, military genius, and diplomatic successes demonstrated how he shaped the world and changed the course of history. Genghis Khan's legacy extended beyond his empire. As he expanded his empire's borders, he built bridges between different cultures and facilitated interactions among various societies. The Mongols' administrative style and military organization set a model for subsequent empires and leaders. Furthermore, Genghis Khan's life and achievements have become legendary, ensuring that his name remains remembered for centuries. Dear friends, the stories of great leaders throughout history teach us not only about the past but also about the courage, strategy, and vision inherent in humanity. Genghis Khan's story is proof of how powerful and influential the human spirit can be, alongside the themes of war, victory, and strategy. Now, I want to thank you for joining us on this magnificent journey. We will continue to delve into the depths of history, tracing the footsteps of great leaders and events of the past. Exploring Genghis Khan's life and legacy has reminded us of how rich and inspiring history truly is. In the next episode, I look forward to embarking on a new historical journey with you. As we continue to narrate historical events and the lives of great leaders, remember that history not only shapes the past but also the future. Keep following us as we continue this historical adventure. Goodbye for now, friends. See you in new discoveries and history-filled stories.